Da-da-pop-pop. Hello, everybody. Well, this is a book I wrote 3 years ago, and then I re-released it with a new cover. Thank you, Bridget, my wife, who did a great cover, and a few edits. Thank you, Paul. So I'm going to read you chapter 1. It's called Ringsend, based out of Ringsend in Dublin, but has a double meaning, which you will figure out as you read the book what the double meaning is. Language is a bit hard, just because that's how some of the characters talk. And they just don't say gosh darn. At least not these guys. Here's chapter 1. He walked out of the yacht on Torncastle Street and made a left towards the bus stop. You see, right away now I said Torncastle Street. I just slipped back into it. Torncastle Street. How are you, Peter? His old classmate from years ago shouted across the street. All right, Jimmy. He stood waiting for the bus heading into Sandymount, fully aware of himself. He'd be 50 next year, still living in the flats on Thorncastle Street. One daughter now lived outside the house with a boyfriend he couldn't stand. He looked down at his belly and realized he drank too much. He traveled the world, but only through films and friends' stories. He once went to France, but that was a story best left unremembered. Here he was, 49, overweight, balding, working at Tesco. He put his hands in his pocket, feeling the bulge of the bottle of Nurofen. That's Advil, by the way, for my American friends. He had placed there. He called his daughter, Jackie. How are you? Leave your number and I'll call you back. He hung up. The evening sun was clipping the lip of the houses on his left as it made its descent across Dublin. A young boy passed them by. They made brief eye contact. All right, said the young man as he passed them by. Peter returned the greeting. The bus arrived late as always, and Peter climbed aboard. Sandymount, he said to the driver as he was about to drop his change into the box. Don't worry about it, mate, said the driver with the strong Dublin accent. Thanks for that, said Peter. You're one of the few dubs I see driving these days. Yeah, a lot of outsiders going after the driving jobs these days, the driver said to Peter in a low voice. They should fucking stay in their own countries, replied Peter before making his way upstairs. I'm going to have to work on the voices here so you can tell them apart. Going to the top deck made no sense since his stop was coming up soon, but it was a childhood habit he never broke. He got off the bus outside a Tesco on Sandymount Road and walked past Mulligan's pub. Fucking yuppies, he said under his breath. He took a left turn at Allied Irish Bank and proceeded towards the Strand. He wanted to smell the evening summer air. He stood by the Strand wall and looked at the incinerator and then at Dublin's towering red and white striped mascots. He had not broken through in life. He had not escaped velocity as he'd hoped, even though some of his friends from childhood did. John Boy had gone to Kevin Street and he was in computers. Deco had made it to Trinity, albeit while repeating his leaving cert 3 times. He was a lawyer now, living close by in Dublin too, but Peter had not seen him in years. Fucking waste, he said under his breath. Excuse me, said a voice from behind him. Peter turned around to see an elderly man. What did you say? Demanded the older man. Relax, mate, I was talking to myself. I didn't ask you who you were talking to, I asked you what you said. Peter was about to tell the man to get fucked when a strange feeling came over him. He felt compelled to just answer the man's question. I said fucking waste. Why? Said the man. I was talking to myself. So you said. What is a waste? Inquired the man as his face relaxed into a smile. Are you one of those religious born-again freaks? If so, I'm not interested. No, my friend, I'm not, don't worry. This is getting a bit weird now. Do you mind telling me what you want? I want to know why you came here tonight, said the man. That's not your business. You came here to take your life, didn't you? What? You heard me, Peter. How do you know my name? Your daughter told me. At this, the man took a picture of Peter's daughter, Jackie. Peter's heart sank. Jackie was kidnapped. What the fuck are you doing with that picture of my daughter? And why is she all dressed up? Jackie was normally seen... Sorry for looking at my watch. We've got a meeting starting in a second. I'll see if I can finish the chapter, though. Shouldn't do this during the day. Jackie was normally seen in a tracksuit and not one to dress up. Why would a kidnapper look like this guy, and why would he dress up his victim, and why would she be beaming in the photo? There's a fucking waste of time raise a girl like this. I don't think so, said the old man. Peter looked at the picture again and noticed that the Scotland Yard sign was in the background. What the hell's going on here? Is she in London? I just saw her yesterday. Is this some kind of joke? She'd never been out of the country, you know. Would you care to join me, Mr. Casey? The man asked as a special branch car pulled up. Special branch would be a section of the Garda Síochána, which is the Irish police force. See, you don't get this in the book. You don't get these added commentaries. And where are we going? Peter said. On a more exciting adventure than you were about to have. You fellas aren't going to rape me, are you? Inquired Peter of the old man beside him and the Garda driving the car. No, sir, you'll be safe with us. Yeah, that's probably what a rapist would say, said Peter. Minutes later, they arrived at Irishtown police station. They exited the car and walked into the main area. Peter recognized the Garda behind the desk. He stared right through Peter. Do you know Garda Tom? Asked the older gentleman, noticing the exchange between the two men as they passed the desk heading for the lift. Yeah, he hit me over the head with his pig stick one night because I was in a fight with the bollocks. I see, responded Thompson. The Garda who had been driving the car turned the key in the wall of the lift and pressed the button. They descended a floor. I didn't know this place had a sub-level, said Peter. It was installed during the reconstruction, said the Garda with a thick West of Ireland accent. I screwed that up there, didn't I? It was installed during the reconstruction, said a Garda. Apologies to my Mayo cousins. I don't know how well I did there. Although it doesn't say it's from Mayo, it just says the West of Ireland. The doors open up into what looked like a large command centre. What the Jesus, said Peter. Where did all this come from? I knew they were redoing the building a few years ago, but didn't know all this was here. Very few know about this part of the building, Mr. Casey, said Thompson. Get Agent 7 on screen now, the older gentleman ordered. Within a few minutes, Jackie, Peter's daughter, appeared on screen. It was Jackie, but it was not. She was a very modified version of his daughter. A lot slimmer, hair straight, hanging down to shoulder length. Jackie, what the fuck? Hi, Dad. Let's leave it at that. Bye. And I'll continuing chapter 1. Hi, Dad. You look great, he said. Thanks. Agent 7, said the older gentleman. Peter interrupted him. What's with calling her Agent 7? Agent 7, he continued, would you like to explain to Mr. Casey what is going on? Sure, I'm not really Jackie. Huh? Jackie, your biological daughter, is still in Ringsend Park right now with her boyfriend, but I'm here in London working. Peter looked confused. What's with the English accent, Jackie? Garda, interrupted the old gentleman. Can you please send a squad car over to Jackie's house, please? The Garda left the room. I can see you were struggling with this, so all should be clear in a few minutes. Peter was in shock. Would you like some tea, Mr. Casey? Sure. Francois, could you get Mr. Casey a cup of tea? He asked of a young man working on a computer in the background. Sure, he said, looking slightly put out, but complying nonetheless. 3 sugars and milk, please. Oh, and throw a few chocolate hobnobs in there, said Agent 7 from on screen. Peter looked up intensely at the screen. She smiled right back at him. So, said Peter after a long pause, you're in London, right? Yes. The agent moved the camera towards the window behind her, and Peter could see a coffee shop she was in. A clock on the wall showed the same time as what showed on his watch. And there's another Jackie down on Ringsend Park, and she's the real Jackie. Yes. What a pile of shite, said Peter. The technician came back in with a mug of tea and biscuits. Thanks, mate, said Peter. Here's the weird thing. Why does Irishtown Station have this place in the basement, and why did she get to London so fast and lose so much weight, and why is she fucking talking? Sure. Why is she talking funny? Sure, I just saw her yesterday. The door opened suddenly and in walked Jackie. her hair in a ponytail tracksuit slightly heavier than the woman on screen. "You bleeding bollocks, you were going to kill yourself and you can't even come down and say goodbye," said Jackie. "I never said I was going to kill myself, your man did. And besides, if you know I was going to kill myself, why didn't you answer the fucking phone when I called you an hour ago?" "I was in the toilet. You expect me to answer the phone in the toilet?" "I fucking doing this the last time I maybe talked to you," he responded. "Well, you big liar, you just said you weren't going to kill yourself." "Well, I wasn't. I never said I was. He said I was. I'm just saying that if you thought I was, you should have answered the phone. I'm assuming you thought I was because you tipped this guy off to come find me on Sandymount Strand," Peter said, pointing to the older gentleman. There was an embarrassing silence from the father and daughter pair as they realised they were not alone in their bickering. "Have you met Colonel Thompson?" asked the woman on screen. Yes, said Peter slowly as he focused back on the image of his daughter on the screen, and the full reality of the situation came home. Peter sat back down. "Are you all right, Dad?" said Jackie. Peter was feeling faint now. "Get me a glass of water, please," said the Colonel. The Colonel's the older gentleman. The technician brought him a glass of water. "I need some fucking fresh air, man," said Peter as he got up. Jackie and Colonel Thompson followed him to the lift. Peter hit the G button and exited the building. "Where are you going, Dad?" asked Jackie. "I'm getting the fuck out of here is where I'm going. Mr. Casey, please don't leave." "I have to, man." "Then let us come along, please. We need to tell you the full story." "Then it's off to the yacht, because I need a pint." "No, Dad, too many people you know there. Let's go to Mulligan Sandymount." "I haven't gone that fucking mad, Jackie. I'm not stepping foot in a yuppie bar for fuck's sake." "Okay, O'Reilly's Sandymount then." That's the end of chapter 1. Thanks for listening. And I will put out chapter 2. And what else can I have to say? That's it. I'll make some comments at the end of chapter 2. But now I'm off to work.